One trend that has prevented me from collecting analog watches over the last 20 years is the trend towards larger sizes. As an example, the Rolex Submariner when it was first released was only 37mm in diameter, but in the latest reference it has grown to 41mm. I'm not sure which manufacturer is to blame for this vapid escalation, but perhaps we can start with Hublot and their Big Bang series. Endorsed by celebrities and social media, perhaps other manufacturers felt compelled to follow suit in order to capture the zeitgeist. Even Casio with their Duro range of watches have a diameter in excess of 44mm. But perhaps I am being unfair, as the Duro is designed to be a dive watch and these need to have a large dial for visibility. Thankfully though, Casio have realised that people do want to wear smaller sized watches which don't need to be so large, and they brought out a 38mm variant. They've also released a smaller size quartz analogue for the casual watch enthusiast, the MTPB145. And this is a watch that I both love and hate. I'm just a person expostulating my opinions on large size watches. My opinions are no more valid than anyone else who has an opinion. If you like large size watches, then fair play to you, choose one that suits your style. However, the recent popularity in watches in a smaller size such as a 35mm Tissot PRX shows that the demand is there. The MTPB145 has a width of 35mm, but more importantly it has a lug-to-lug length of 40mm, so it doesn't feel small. One rule that I picked up from an AD about wearing analog watches is that the watch case mustn't cover your whole wrist, and it's good to see the strap showing as well. Now let's check out some wrist shots. Contrary to popular opinion, this watch is not a so-called Tissot PRX killer. The materials used for the PRX are superior. For example, the Tissot uses a sapphire crystal and a high-grade steel for the case. But then again, the Tissot does cost about 6 times the price of the Casio, so you would expect it to have a more luxurious finish. Instead, the watch pays homage to an earlier Casio first released in the 1980s, the MQ336. So I guess you could call it a reissue of that watch. What you do get though is a great looking Casio with a higher than average build quality at this price point. As this watch has been on release for over a year, it is possible to find it for under the recommended retail price, and it cost me €56. Initial impressions out of the box are good, and I was impressed with the steel bracelet. It is made of rolled steel with a brushed surface and polished sides, and it felt more substantial than the ones you get on other steel strap digital Casios. The clasp that comes with the strap is a trifold variety, and links need to be removed if you want to make it smaller. In theory, all you need to do is to remove the pins by pushing them out in the direction of the arrows. In practice, the pins proved to be difficult to remove, and I ended up breaking 2 of my tools. On the back is a steel snap-on caseback housing a 4393 quartz movement, and Casio claims that the watch has a 5-bar water resistance rating. The steel case is just 7.4mm thick if you measure it from the crystal to the backplate. It comes with a brushed finish on the front and a polished finish on the sides. The edges feel smooth and the case as a whole has a nice tactile finish. Covering the dial is a mineral glass crystal, and this is surrounded by a simple, sloping, non-fluted bezel. The star feature of the watch is the sunburst effect dial. I went for the dark blue version and it looks better in real life than it comes across in the marketing photos. Other colours are also available to suit your personal preference. The silver hands and applied indices complement the dial by catching the sunlight at certain angles. I like that Casio have restrained themselves from adding any lume to them, as they would have needed to make them wider to have any effect. And I feel that this would have affected the aesthetics of the watch. One thing to point out, at least on my watch, is that the second hand doesn't quite hit the markers. This doesn't bother me too much as I don't pay any attention to the second hand, and I found the timekeeping to be very accurate during the time I've had it. Overall, I am happy with the aesthetics of the watch. It does have a wrist presence when worn and provides a cross utility between a sports and dress watch. What lets it down for me is the strap. I found it difficult to resize, and once resized, I couldn't get a perfect fit due to the lack of micro adjustments. I do want to keep on wearing the watch, so I'll probably switch the strap over to another one. It's good that Casio have resurrected a smaller size watch from their past catalogue, and I'll be interested to see where they take this watch in the future. And perhaps newer variants with different dial designs are on the horizon. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.